So thank you, everybody, to be here. And I will try to address some ideas. We came to Texas, to the state of Texas, and I say the state of Texas because, and forgive me, people from Houston, we thought that it was important to go beyond Houston. And we knew that we were all going to end up in Houston. So don't worry, but it was important to have, you know, and now we have been touring the state for a few days. We went to San Antonio, to Austin, to Dallas, and now Houston. We will stay here. And we also, for the first time, to have, I know that this is very difficult, almost impossible, but at least the first day, a non-oil tour to Texas. Meaning that we were, you know, connecting with communities and talking to people. In San Antonio, for example, we had a lot of meetings with people regarding small business and communities. Of course, connecting with the Latino population that you know that is important, and there will be delegations from the San Antonio and the communities and the government of San Antonio to Venezuela, and the same in Austin. But because of the importance of Texas, President Chávez was re-elected for 6 years in December. There were some also changes in the U.S., and the U.S. is now facing, you know, a period and a process of change linked with the new presidential election in next year. And we thought that it was important to travel around, to connect, to reach out as much people as possible, groups, local governments, friends, potential friends, business partners, etc., and tell them how we see the country in the next future, and common areas for us, and the wisdom of the possibilities that we have ahead. I have my responsibility in Washington, but I try to travel as much as possible. And it's very important because it's the only way to have a clear mind to work in Houston, to work in Washington, when you know the U.S. and you know how big and the complexities and the varieties and the opportunities in the U.S. So this is what we have been trying, and we hope that it will help both governments to have a new vision about the possibilities that we will have ahead. And we have been doing that in the Northeast, in the Midwest, in California. But we wanted to come to Texas, and we said, well, Texas could not be part of a tour with other states. It should be Texas, as we have to do the same with Florida. And as you were saying, sir, people, I've been doing a lot of media, and people, when I told them that we are the 11th trading partner of Texas worldwide, Venezuela, they say, why? And when they told it that Texas is third most important, that Venezuela is Texas' third more important commercial partner in Latin America, behind Mexico, that you know has a very special relationship with the U.S., and Brazil. And that Texas is the second state in importance regarding exports to Venezuela in the U.S. after Florida. Florida is 2.8, I'm talking about only exports, $2.8 billion, and Texas is $2.6 billion. And by the way, from 2002, in 2002 we were $870 million of exports, Texas export to Venezuela, and this year is 2.6 billion. So we have grown probably four times. And I don't know, I'm sure that if we just ask how many people have traveled to Venezuela or know somebody who has been living or traveling or working in Venezuela, probably will be quite an important number of people in this room. We have this flight and connection with Texas and Venezuela for years. I remember we had a difficult political situation between our governments and the West Texas. Member senator that told me, don't worry, we'll build a pipe directly from Venezuela to Texas. So meaning in a way, that sense, of relationship that we have had and we should have in the future. So this is why it's important to come back here after we have gone to the political process in Venezuela and in the midst of political and normal political transition periods in this country, and with this base of history, baseball, business, trade, energy, to try to do a lot more and to have a new vision for the relationship between the U.S. and Venezuela through an important part of the U.S., which is Texas. And this is a way, after being in this country for a while, that you could really make a difference, trying to work through the states, through the people, and through the different players in this country. So we think that this is a great opportunity. I will refer, because to some general idea of how we see Latin America, the hemisphere of Venezuela, and then I will try to put on the table some ideas of how we're seeing the concentrated on the energy sector and our vision on the energy sector. First, Venezuela politically was not a very interesting country. And it became an interesting country with the changes and since President Chavez was re-elected, and actually before, Venezuela did not attract too much attention, and a whole process of change started in the country. As you know, we call a National Constitutional Assembly with a vote of Venezuelans. We wrote a new constitution. We made major changes in that constitution. That constitution went through a referendum and was voted by the Venezuelans again. And basically we have been keeping the same way, the same orientation that we did at that particular document, which was the Venezuelan Constitution. It was not an easy project. It was not an easy process, but after a few years, we can say that we are back in our feet. And what was seen as an accident in Latin America